So today we are going to talk about, first, the title of this video, which is I'd rather be an atheist than a Christian. First of all, let me say that I love Christians. I think Christians are fantastic people. They tend to be humble and caring and great friends. And my wife just recently went Christian, and it was a big shock to me because I'm Jewish. We were both Jewish. Her grandfather was a rabbi. But there are many arguments that Christians use to kind of like bring in those that are not Christian. And some of the arguments come from caring, like, I want you to be saved, and I care about you, I want to be in heaven with you. And the others are kind of threats, like, if you don't get into Jesus, you're going to, not get saved. And the implication is that you're going to burn in hell. So those arguments we'll revisit a little later on. Now, first, let's take the argument that Christians love Jesus, and therefore they want to instill that love in everybody. Now, I love women, for example. Always loved women, and I've been married now 27 years, but that doesn't mean I want to become a woman, okay? Just because you love something doesn't mean you want to become that. If you can love Jesus and look at him from afar. I do. I see Jesus as a great person that helped the world. But just because I love him doesn't mean I want to be a Christian. Why? Because my faith is Jewish from the beginning. And I think that most of us that have a faith have it because, let's face it, when we were young, that was the faith that we got. It feels very natural. Very natural to me to be in a synagogue praying to Adonai with a kippah and the yarmulke and the whole thing, just like Jesus did, by the way, most of his life. He was a rabbi. And if you went up to Jesus and talked to him about Christianity, he might feel almost like, whoa, where did the Judaism go, But anyway. When your faith is from young days, let's take, for example, how odd is it to find a Christian that turns Muslim? See, here in the United States, we are the majority of people are Christian, or Catholic, or Protestant. To me, they're all the same. They're all Jesus people. And to see a Jesus person become Muslim is so, like, what? What do you mean? How could they? And so on. We see it as very weird because the majority of people here are Christian. And when you have it from the time you're young, it takes a lot to bolt, to turn into being a Muslim, It's like, is President Obama Muslim? We ask, so what? Of course he was a Muslim. He was in a Muslim school from the time he was like 8 to 12. How could he not be a Muslim? If I was indoctrinated in a Jewish place from the time I'm 8 to 12, even if I find Christ later on, I couldn't deny that I spent, formative years being Jewish, Anyway. The majority of this country is Christian. I saw, for example, a TV show. There was a mom that was really bad, and she was like lost custody of her child because she was in drugs and everything. And the social worker comes to visit her and says, have you been a good mom? And she's like, yeah, I want my child back. And then the social worker asked her, have you been to church? To church? With Jesus? What if the woman was Jewish? So she would answer, no, I haven't been to church. Oh, well, you don't get your kid back. Have you been to church? No, I haven't. No, because I've been to Allah, Muslim, where is that the Muslims pray towards Allah? What is it? A mosque. I've been to the mosque. That would look so weird. I don't think that woman would get that child back. You see, here in America, it's so easy for the average Christian to assume that we're all, the majority, and thus, if you want to be a good mom and get your kid back, then you need to go to church, and you need to show that you're being good, and whoa, let's put the stops to that. The real question the social worker was asking is, are you elevating your self-respect, belief, to have some faith in God or something that gives me a message that you. But she asked, have you been going to church? We assume it's church. And if we lived in a country where a third of people were Jewish and a third of people were Catholic or Christian and a third of people were Muslim, so I'm like, I don't know, some sections of France or Miami Beach or whatever, then that social worker would be illuminated and not ask that question like that. Pluralism is about respect. You know, when I saw a picture of Obama at the wall, you know, the Jewish wall, and he put on a yarmulke, the little hat that Jews wear and the Pope wears, which means that it symbolizes that there's something above us, you know, meaning, you know, like God. Obama put it because he was not turning into a Jew, but he was, you know, respecting the customs of the Jews right there. And there's a book called Christians and Jews, and basically it talks about pluralism, because Jews have suffered a ton in these 2,000 years, persecution through Christians, for example, kicked out every Jew out of England and out of Italy and out of Spain, and then all the Jews in Germany were just killed and not even kicked out, and that's a lot of payback, you know, for killing Jesus. And, you know, but anyway, there was a pope then that said that the Jews didn't kill Jesus. You know, I don't think it matters in the sense that if 2,000 years ago some Jews killed Jesus, well, we're sorry. We shouldn't have done it. And we're very sorry. But that doesn't mean that the Christians have the right to kill Jews for 2,000 years. I mean, you know, it's like if today a Christian kills a Muslim, that doesn't mean that for 2,000 years Muslims have the right to kill Christians. No, it's Jesus said like day one, you know, forgive everybody, you know, and everybody said that, Moses and Israel. Of course, the Bible has a way of saying, forgive everybody, and then on the other side, kill everybody. And you know, we're so shocked the Quran says kill the infidels, but the truth is, the Old Testament and the New Testament talked a lot about blood baths and all over the place. But anyway, bottom line is the Ten Commandments, right? Number one, you shall not kill. I think that's a good one. Pluralism has to do with respect. I meet a Christian, I say, you know what? That's great that you're a Christian. Embrace your Christianity. I respect it. I don't try to make you into a Jew. I don't try to make you into a Muslim. I don't tell you things like, be flexible, be open-minded, maybe one day you'll be saved. No, you see, that's threatening and coercing and manipulating a Christian out of his faith. I should respect the Christian and tell him to embrace his Christianity. The mirror of that is the Christian tells the Jew, embrace Jewishness, and I respect the Jewishness, you see. Because a lot of Christians in this country, because they care, they come up to me, my Christian friends, and they're like, George, you know, come to church, maybe one day you'll be saved. And it's like, I feel coerced. What do you mean saved? The rabbis, you know, they're not into being saved. The rabbis think that Judaism is a proud enough religion that doesn't need to be saved. And that's my message. So when I say I'd rather be an atheist than a Christian, well, I mean it, because I never want to be a Christian, because this business of Jesus is foreign to me, because I didn't hear it till I was like 50, because in the meantime I was like, you know, in ghettos and hanging around with a lot of Jews and so on. And now that I've been exposed to Christianity, Jesus is very foreign to me. But I respect his message and I respect him. But, you know, it's too late to get into something at 50. Now, Jewishness is very boring, and we're going to have to borrow some of the great songs of Christianhood into Judaism to make it more interesting at the temple. But let's be pluralistic. Let's respect each other's faiths, and that'll be that. If you're a Christian, great for you. If you're a Jew, great for you. And if you're a Muslim, great for you. If Obama wants to be a Muslim, great for Obama. I don't care what he is. Okay, he said he's a Christian. I believe him. Whatever. You know, I don't think Muslims are inferior. I think they're great. Now, the ones that kill people, I have a problem with that. But then Christians spent a lot of time killing people, and Jews spent a lot of time. That wasn't good. Pluralism through peace. How's that?